All right, so this question is giving us f, and it says that f of x is equal to x plus 5. It has an inverse that's called g. It says to find what g prime of 2 is. So on the surface, it doesn't look like there's enough information to even do this question. So we need to think through what it means to have f of x, and then they're asking us to find what g prime of 2 is. Now, we could definitely go through and find what the equation of f of x, or sorry, g of x is by going through and interchanging x and y and solving for y, as we've done in the past for finding inverses. And that's fine, but we can also go ahead and use what we just learned on the previous question, which is that we want to essentially go ahead and find what g prime of 2 is. Now, using the formula above, we can see that it's going to end up being the same thing as 1 over f prime of g of 2. Okay. So as I'm looking at this thing here, the issue that comes up is that we don't have g of 2. We don't know what that's going to be. But remember, these things are inverses, f and g, that is. So on f, we see that we're going to have, actually we'll talk about on g here. So on g, we're trying to find when x is going to be 2, we want to know essentially what the corresponding y value is, right? So we have 2 comma y, whatever that happens to be here, right? Now, we know these things are inverses, so the point 2 comma y is on g. That means that the corresponding point is going to be y comma 2 on f. We interchange x and y coordinates. Now, as I look at that, still don't feel like we have enough information, but consider what we do have. We have the equation for f of x equals to x plus 5 over there, and now we have a coordinate pair y comma 2. So in this case right here, it's a little confusing, but the y coordinate is going to be 2. So essentially the question is saying, on f, when y is equal to 2, what is the corresponding x value? So another way to say that is, if I set f of x just equal to 2 in f of x, and I solve for x here, I can subtract 5 and get x equals to negative 3. Right? So what I've actually found here is the corresponding x value on f for 2 is 3, or sorry, negative 3. That's also going to be the same over here. Right? So that means that we actually have the coordinates that we need. So g has the point 2 comma negative 3. Right? So that's important because what we're searching for to actually do the work over on this side over here is what is g of 2? Well, g of 2 according to this pair of coordinates is prime of, and then g of 2 is going to be negative 3. Okay? But then now we're kind of stuck. We're like, all right, well, what's f prime of negative 3? Well, we have f, right? So we can do a little bit of work here and find that f prime of x is just going to be 1. Right? So as I look at this whole thing, that means that f prime of 3 is also going to be 1. We can plug that in right here. So we end up with 1 over 1 or just 1. Right? So on the surface, it didn't seem like there's enough information to do anything here, but when we break down this problem into small pieces, it's definitely more manageable.